Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to make this pop-up with our HTML, CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. Here you can see that in this pop-up, if we click outside, it will close automatically. And also you can see that it's have a little fade-in effect. We will see it in this video how we can make this all. And before starting the video, if you did not subscribe the channel yet, please do subscribe. It will support me a lot. So no more talk, let's dive into the video. So as you can see that I'm in my HTML file and here is my CSS and JavaScript file. And in CSS I already added a Google fonts which is Montserrat. You can use as you want. So let's create a boilerplate, and here let's give it a title of pop-up, and in the div let's create a div with a class of container, and also let's create a div with a class of button. And here let's say we will create a button which will trigger the pop-up. So let's say here we will say class of open pop-up. Okay, so after that let's give it some click me, and after this div let's create our pop-up div, and in this div let's create first of all a overlay. So actually let's give it a name of pop-up overlay so that we can understand it. And after this div let's create another div with our main pop-up content. So let's give it a class of main pop-up, and in this main pop-up let's create another div with a class of content. So pop-up content, and here we will have our content. So first one will be the span. This is the close button of the pop-up, so we will give a class of close pop-up, and here we will use ampersand times, and this will make a cross. And after that let's create some dummy text for the pop-up. So that's it. So let's open it with our live server. So here you can see that that's the button, and here is the cross button, and this is the content of our pop-up. So let's link our style sheet and also add our JavaScript here. And let's come here, and let's say first of all let's remove all the unexpected padding and margin. So let's come here and say padding 0 and margin 0, and also box sizing border box. If I save, there is no extra gap, as you can see that. And also what I can do is in HTML let's create the font family which will be the Montserrat, and let's create another fallback font family, which is sans serif, as you can see that. And let's create a font size of 15 pixel. So after that, let's go to the container. So let's give it a height of 100 VH and width of 100%, and let's make all the content in center by flex. So we can say display flex and justify content center and align items center. Now you can see that all content in center, but now the flex direction in row, let's create the flex direction in column. If I save, now you can see that now it's in column. So let's create also a background color so that it looks nice. So what I can say is background color. Now you can see that we have this purple background color. So let's style this button now. So let's say open button. Open pop-up, actually I believe. Let's check the button. You can see that we have this class open pop-up. So you can say open pop-up. So let's say font size will be the 1 rem and text transform uppercase, and here the letter spacing will be 2 pixel and padding will be about 1 rem for the top and bottom and 2.5 rem for the left and right. Save. Now here you can see that it's looking nice, but we can't click it. So let's say cursor pointer. Now you can see that we can click it. So after that, let's go to the pop-up section. Here we will say, first of all, let's create the position. So position will be absolute and width will be 100% and height will be also 100 VH, and display flex, also justify content center and align items center. If I save, now you can see that the position of position of our pop-up is now in absolute, so that if I hover the pop-up, now you can see that it's covering all the viewport we can see. So after that, let's go to the overlay. So let's come here, overlay. So what was the class for the overlay? The pop-up overlay, the class was, so let's say pop-up overlay. So let's give it a background of black background of, let's say that actually we need some opacity, so let's use RGB here. And if I save, we can't see it because we don't have any height and width for the overlay. So let's give the height of 100 VH and width of 100% so that it covers all the viewport, as we can see. Now there's a problem, as we can see, because in this pop-up there is two items, which is first one is overlay and second one is the content, which is the main pop-up. So for that, what we need to do, we need to say position will be absolute. So if I save, now you can see that the position absolute is works. Now the pop-up is 100 pH and width is 100%. So after that, let's go to the main pop-up. in pop-up, sorry. And here let's come to the position relative of our pop-up. So what I can say is height will be the 100 VH, not 100, let's say 40 VH. The main content will be 40 VH, and let's give it a background color. So let me copy the background color. So if I save, now you can see that that's our main pop-up, and as you can see that it's taking 40 BH height. And after that, let's also say width will be not 100%, let's say width will be 80%, so that it comes 80%. And also you can see that it's in center because we already added flexbox here, so we don't need to worry about the center things. So let's say after that, the padding, there will be some padding. Now you can see that the content of the main pop-up is touching the edge of the pop-up. So what I can say is, let's say some padding, say 30 pixel from the top and bottom and 20 pixel from the left and right. So you can see that it's looking much better now. After that, let's come here and say display flex and justify content center and align items center, so that the content of the main pop-up comes center. If I save, now you can see that the pop-up of the content of the pop-up is now in center. So that's for the pop-up. So let's go to the close button. Now as you can see that the close button is now in here, so we can see that in the close button we have this class close pop-up. So now let's give some style to the close button. So we want the close button up there, so what we need to do, we need to make the close button position absolute. So position absolute, and also say that the top will be 1 rem. So I save, now you can see that it's now in top 1 rem, and also say not, it will be not there in the left, it will be in the right position. So let's say right 1 rem. Now you can see that here our little cross button. So after that, let's give it some font size of 2 rem so that we can see it well. Now here it is. Now you can see that when I hover over it, we can't click it. So let's give it the cursor pointer. Now here it is, we can click the button. So that's for the pop-up close button. So we don't need to style this. If you want, you can style this and you can use any kind of content here. So that's not for this tutorial. So this tutorial is for how we can make a pop-up, simple pop-up with our HTML, CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. So let's go to the JavaScript part and make it functional. So first of all, let's hide this pop-up from our HTML or from our viewport. So how can I hide it? So you can see that this is the pop-up which is containing all the pop-up things. Okay, so as you can see that in the pop-up, if I say visibility hidden, so there is no pop-up anymore. So if I inspect it, you can see that's pop-up, but it's not in there, we can't see it, but in the HTML we still can see the pop-up, so it's okay. So after that, what I can say is we can grab the open button, this is the open button, and we can also grab the close button. So let's say constant open button. So open button will be the document dot query selector, and here we need to pass the button class, which is, you can see that in this open pop-up button, we have a class of open pop-up. So we can say here is class of open pop-up, and after that also we need to grab the close button. So I believe there is a class of close pop-up. As you can see that here is the close pop-up class, and we need to set it here, and let's name it close button. And after that, let's grab the whole pop-up. So constant pop-up is equals to document dot query selector. For this time, query will be, as you can see that in the whole pop-up we have a class of pop-up, so we can use it. And also we need to add our constant, the main pop-up, which we can see that here. As you can see that this is the main pop-up things. So let's get a document another and query selector, and let's create this main pop-up, and that's for the all constant. So after that, what we need to do is we need to add event listener in this button. So basically what I'm saying that, so let's do it. Open button dot add event listener, and the event will be the click, and after that this function will active or will run. So basically let's test it, console.log, and let's put a test of clicked. Basically what I'm saying that the open button, whenever I will click the open button, this will be activated or this will be run. Okay, so as you can see that in the function we just used a console log of clicked. So let's test it. So let's come to the console log, and if I click, you can see that there's the console log which we did here. So that means whenever I click, this function will run. So it's working perfectly. So what we need to do in this function? So in this function, what we need to do is, if we click this button, we need to set the visibility of the pop-up from hidden to visible. So how can we do that? We can do that easily. So in the pop-up, let's say a style dot, not this, only a style dot, what I can say, visibility will be the visible. So if I save, now if I click, now we can see the pop-up. So that's working for our open button. Open button is working fine. So after that, let's also make functional our close button, which will active. You can see that here. So how can we do that? So we can do that easily as we did for the open button. So let's copy the open button event listener and paste it here. And what we need to do is we need to say close button. So when we click the close button, this function will be activated. So in this function, what we need to do is when you click this close button, the visibility of the pop-up will be the hidden. So if I save it, now if I click the button, it's now visible. If I click this cross button, you can see that now it's hidden. So that's it. So that will work fine. So if I inspect this and come to the pop-up, as you can see that now it's the visibility hidden. So if I click it, the visibility is visible, and if I click there, the visibility is hidden again. So that's fine. So after that, let's create another effect, which is if I click outside of the pop-up, it will close automatically. So what I can do is, so let's say window dot add event listener. So it will be a click event, and after that if we click, this function will run. So basically what I'm saying, that in this window if I click anywhere, it will run this function. So we don't want this. We want this if we click outside of the pop-up. Okay, so outside of the pop-up there is the overlay. As you can see, there is the black overlay, blackish. So we need to check if we click the window and this click is happened to the overlay, not in the content, not in the main pop-up. It is happening to the overlay. So that's how we can check it. So we can say that in this function we will pass a parameter, and in here let's check that target. So e.target, it will send us the target which is clicked. So we will check it if is it our overlay. So how can we check it? So let's say document dot query selector, and we will check it with our overlay. So let's check what was the overlay class. You can see that it is the pop-up overlay. So we can say pop-up overlay. We need to make the colon here. So it will check if the target is pop-up overlay, and if it is true, what we need to do, we need to remove this pop-up from the window. So as we removed it from the window in the close button, so we can copy that and paste it here. So if I click it, it's working. If I click outside of the pop-up, now it's closing. So if I click in the pop-up, it's not closing because we checked it here. If we click in the overlay, then it will close the pop-up. So it's working fine. So now if you wanna make some animation like fade in for the pop-up, so you can also make it. So let's make an animation here. You can use any kind of animation as you want. So keyframes, let's name it opacity, and in 0% the opacity will be 0, and in 100% the opacity will be 1. Okay, so we will add this opacity of animation in the main pop-up. So what we can say here is, so in the main pop-up with the class of animation, here we will say animation, and the animation name will be the opacity, and it will take 0.5 seconds or something like that. So it's now not working because we did not make it functional here. So what we can do is, you can see that in click we open this our pop-up here. Okay, so what I can do is, also when we click, we will add this class in our this animation class, which is we made it now in our main pop-up. So what I can do is, in the main pop-up dot class list dot add, and what we wanna add here is the animation. So as you can see that I made a mistake here, not the class name, it should be the class list. Okay, so if I save it now and refresh the page, now you can see this fade effect. So it's working. So whenever I'll click it second time, it's not working. Now you can see that it's not working anymore, because on the first time we click, it's working because there is no class. So if once we added this class, it's still there, so it's not taking the place. So what you need to do, in the close button we also remove this animation class. So here when you close this, we also remove this animation class. So remove and come here, also we wanna remove here. So if I save, so now when we click it, it's working. When we will click this second time, it's also working. So the reason, because we can see that here in the main pop-up, notice the name main pop-up. Let me zoom it. Notice this main pop-up. If I click, now it has the class of animation. If I close, now it's not having the class of animation. So when we will click again, now it will have this animation class. That means whenever we will click, the animation will play its role. So that's it for today. You will make this kind of simple pop-up with HTML and CSS and also a little bit of JavaScript. So this is it. That's how we can make a simple pop-up by clicking here, as you can see. So we can make also slide pop-up from there and there. So let me know if you want to know, or if you want to see the slide pop-up in the next video. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and support me, and please subscribe the channel. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, Khuda Hafiz.